Welcome back to Bobblehead Homestead. I am Jeff. That is Drew from Drew's Lens. It is Thursday. It is hot and sunny. They were up here last night and are going at it all day today. We have behind me the house site, and Drew is preparing the house site for my shed to house, and that is the goal today. He's been doing some other stuff. Had to steal some dirt from somewhere to help fill in the stump holes and stuff like that on the house site. So he's been doing that, and I'm gonna stay out of their way. My main task for myself today is to find all 4 of my property boundaries. All 4 of the corners are marked. That when they survey it, that's what they do. They mark the corners. Well, my corners are 900 feet from each other. So yeah. So I got a little app that I'm gonna try out. It's a free 7-day trial. It's like 30 bucks after that. I don't know, and I don't know how accurate it is, but it's free. So I'm gonna go do some hiking. That is the direction I just came from, and at the bottom of this hill there's a little stream down there. It's actually got some water in it, and that is on my property. We're at the back of my property. So I was just hiking through the jungle trying to find the corners of my property, and I came up this little hill here, and there's a nice little path. I did not know there was a trail, and would you look at that? Oh, I got lucky. I came out of the jungle right at my corner boundary. All right, so I'm gonna mark that on my little map app thingy. And then let's see, this is the southeast corner. And then I'll head in this direction. Hopefully this little trail makes it easier to find the northeast corner. All right, I'm gonna take a little break, then back to hiking. Yeah, I won't go show you that stream right now because I don't want to walk down there. I gotta conserve energy to get back home. And here we go, the northeast corner. And the trail gets better there, but that is not my property past this pink. Yep, there we go. And that's the permanent little stake thing in the ground. All right. So, yeah, nice little grove of pine trees back here. That's cool. And I just came, oh, it's about 330 feet from one back corner, from the southeast back corner to the northeast back corner. All right, and I'm about, the front of my property is 930 feet, I think, in that direction, which is 3 football fields long, about, with end zones. All right, take a little break, then I gotta figure out how I'm gonna get home. And now I know that most of this clearing is on my property. Yeah, that tree, that dead one hanging over, that's about my south property line. But yeah, most of this clearing, this is a nice big clearing. And then up here is another trail. So that's how I made it back this far, is following the trail. And I came from the south, and I went through neighbors' property on the trail. But on the way home, I think I'm gonna go take the trail to the north and go through another neighbor's property. But it's kind of hard to see this clearing back here because the little pathway to it is pretty overgrown. But once you get through this little stretch, then you're back to the trail. All right, this trail is definitely on my property. And I've been going down it for, I don't know, 100 or so feet. And I've got a little ways to go. And I can use this little app thingy to know about when I get to my property boundary along this trail. It won't be marked by the surveyor. But I will make a mental note of it. I should have brought some flags. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I'm not a tracker. One of those looks pretty big. Dog, raccoon. I know I saw raccoon tracks. That's not big enough for a bear. Probably dogs and raccoons. But what do I know? All right. Oh yeah. I see what's coming up here. So this little trail runs through, not quite the middle, it's more towards the back, but it runs through my property north to south. That could come in handy one day. And it looks like right up here there is a valley. Is there a creek down there? And then I think that will be my property line right here. And I can hear Drew going to town on his backhoe. So we are getting close. Yep. So along the trail, this little creek will be my property line on the north side. All right, I think I'm gonna cheat and walk up there and then over to the road. We are looking down the driveway, and let's take a little look at what Drew has been doing today. So my property line goes, I don't know, a little bit over there. He's digging some holes right there. We'll talk about that later. And then most of my property is on the north side of the driveway. And yep. So what he is working on now is my house pad. That's not where my house is going though. But we need some, we dug up a ton of big old stumps. So we need some dirt to fill in the house pad. So he's digging some trenches right here, and we're stealing the dirt and putting it to the house site. So this is one place that he's been stealing dirt from. And yeah, we just want to fill it in, pack it in, let it bake in a little bit. You know, I had people tell me, oh, when the bulldozer was there, you should have just got more rock. Well, this is, for the driveway, this is shale. And shale is not a strong rock. And I'll wait for him to go by. And Lindsay's supervising. And they got a bucket of earth. So anyway, the driveway was made out of shale. Shale is not a strong rock. It will crush with weight on it, and that means that it's not good at all for a house pad site. And this was the gravel that the bulldozer dude had available that was close, and the closer it is, the cheaper it is. So I would not want to use this gravel for a house pad, and that would have cost me another 600 bucks anyway. So yeah, and we weren't done digging out the stumps and all that stuff, so we weren't ready for the rock at that point anyway. So yeah, what he's doing is he is stealing some earth from other places and building up my house pad site, and that is what he is working on. Still two big stumps still need to come out of there, and so he's going to need a lot of dirt, and you know, you want another good 6 inches of soil, and then you want to drive over it with a heavy machine. He's going over one of the stumps right now. That one's going to come out, and then that's going to leave a giant hole that we're going to have to fill up. But all right, that's as they go back by, we'll go look where he's stealing the earth from. All right, I'll show you that area later. That's the south side of the driveway. But let's go down here. He was working here earlier. This is the north side of the driveway, under the power lines, and there's now a fiber optic line. When I bought this place, there were only 2 wires up there, and so they added a 3rd wire, and I know they're putting fiber optic, so I bet that's what it was. And they didn't even leave a trace behind when they put that line in. Of course, all this got bulldozed right at the same time, but yeah, I should have fiber optic internet available once I get electric hooked up too. We'll see about that. But yeah, you can see my property drops off at this point, and this is a relatively steep hill going down to the north property line. And like I said, we need some fill dirt for the house site. So Drew had an idea, why don't we create some terraces down here and steal some dirt from this area to move to the house site. So he was doing this first, and I haven't looked at it, so I'm looking at it now. Yeah, the idea is to just create some terraces here. You know, not a whole lot of them. Looks like he's got a bottom one and then a middle one, and then we might do one more up there, and plant some berries. So I'll plant some berries along the edge before it drops off, and then you know, plant some more berries there, so I can have 3 or 4 rows of whatever berries I fancy at the time. There's all kinds of options, and this is north facing and it is downhill, so which might be good for some varieties that you know, don't need full sun. If they don't need full sun, and with, you know, full sun can really roast some plants in this area. So I'll have to do my research on, and it doesn't have to be berries. I mean, I could do sunflowers or, you know, whatever else I want. But this will be a little garden terrace, and that is that's a raging creek under heavy rains. You can see the culvert goes under the lane there, and my my corner property stake. So yeah, it should stay pretty moist, because that's where the water, most of the water runoff is going to go through there. But yeah, I thought that was a good idea. We need fill dirt and a little garden terrace down here. Fits the bill. Back up to the driveway. Now we'll take a look at what he's working on now. This is the south side of the driveway, and here is the culvert that Drew installed that is working perfectly. Yeah, I'll probably want to fill around rocks and fiddle around with that some more, but good enough for now. So what he's working on now is getting more fill dirt for the house site. And we picked this location And yeah, you can already get a little bit of an idea what I want to do with right in there. So he's had a helper picking out all the roots and throwing them in there. But this is going to be hugelkultur. And I've been thinking about that anyway. That's one thing. If you need fill dirt, well, that's what hugelkultur is. You dig some pits, you fill it up with organic materials, trees, for example, and then you put a little bit of dirt on top of it. So you can steal a good 50% of the dirt out of there and replace it with you know, debris and trees and stuff like that. So that's what he's doing out here. Is he is creating some trenches to steal some dirt, and then later on we'll be filling those with trees and tree limbs, and then putting a little soil back on top of them and do hugelkultur. And once again, I can pick whatever I fancy to grow, and that'll be cool. So yeah, it looks like he's got 2 ongoing, and I think he's going to put a 3rd one in the middle. But heck yeah, heck yeah. This will get more sun than the garden terrace, and this will, you know, the thing about hugelkultur is having all that wood in there. The wood soaks up the water and retains it. So you can go 2 weeks without, you know, any rain at all, and it'll still have some moisture down to the roots. All right, he's picking up a bucket load. Yeah. And we'll probably be doing more of this in the future as we clear more land. You know, that's a good way to put second use, you know, repurpose the trees. Once you, instead of just burning them, you can let them rot in the ground and let them feed and water your future plants. But yeah, blueberries, raspberries, blackberries, boysenberries, gooseberries, schnozberries. Can you grow schnozberries in Arkansas? I don't know if you can grow schnozberries in Arkansas. I might want to give it a try though. Or yeah, any number of things you can grow on a hugelkultur bed. So cool, cool, cool. He's getting fill dirt for the house site, and I'm getting hugelkultur beds. This is going to be a good indicator of what kind of soil I have here, or should I say what kind of clay I have here. There was a giant burn pile here, so that black stuff is not you know, fertile soil. So yeah, a lot of clay. It's not as bad. There's no topsoil here because this has all been bulldozed and cleared and all that stuff, but there is more topsoil back there. We'll notice that when we dig some more holes back in where the woods are. But for the most part out here, it's gonna be a battle. So the hugelkultur will definitely help grow stuff in this heavy clay. One thing I've had a change of mind about, that's the house site, and this is the driveway. And I wanted to leave a buffer of trees and stuff in between the lane and the power lines and the house site. So that's why this little clump of trees was left. But I'm afraid I've decided this little clump of trees will go. There's a culvert right here. This is the second one we put in the driveway. And I want an RV pad over there under this really tall pine tree. And so the best path for an RV will be through that little patch of trees. So we'll want to go past the culvert here on the driveway, and then they'll want to go through the trees, and then they can pull up in there. It's, you know, that's high ground, that won't be muddy and stuff, and then they can back their RV in, and then when they pull it out, they can come back around too. So this little patch of trees will be going. A lot of pine, looks like 1 cedar, 2 cedars. And so those trees will help fill in some hugelkultur. All right, now we'll look at it from another direction. There's that big pine tree, and Drew has cleared some out in there, and that's kind of where I want an RV and a storage shed. So this little clump of trees will go, and they will be useful in hugelkultur. The cedar will probably keep for posts, but the pines you can use in hugelkultur. And then we'll be, you know, once the house pad and all that stuff is done, then we can start working on clearing a lot more of this small stuff. And a lot of this small stuff will get buried in the hugelkultur. And we can do more hugelkultur beds in other places. But I won't be clearing out all the trees. I'm not going to clear cut it or nothing. But I do want to get the smaller, thinner stuff and leave some bigger ones for shade. And yeah, because we've, you know, this little area, hopefully for an RV pad and a storage shed. And then I'm running water and electric out here. And the water and electric I can use for chickens, which are hopefully going to go in this way, in this direction. So we've got a little spot cleared out for the chickens so far. And you can see we left trees. Those are some nice oaks. But yeah, you can see all kinds of little stuff in there that we can take out, but still plenty of big trees to leave for shade. Because you can't, yeah, that electric fencing I have is just really hard to put up in a jungle. It's impossible to put up in a jungle. So clearing out the jungle, leaving enough bigger trees for shade, and that'll be the plan, but that's much later on. You know, first up, we're getting this house pad done, and then we'll go to the whatever the next step is. It might be digging water lines. It might be clearing more of this small stuff for the chickens. I don't know. You got to keep watching my channel, figure out what we're doing next, because we don't know what we're doing next. We figure it out when we get the next step done. Time for me to sign off. Oh man, what a hot, humid day. And it was probably the worst day for me to go on a hike, but I needed to find those property boundaries so I know what my angles are, and that's a good thing. So I am signing off for today. Who knows, maybe a month from now, there's gonna be a tiny cabin, shed to house, sitting right behind me, and we'll be off to the races then. Thank you so much for your help and support. It's wonderful getting my dream juices going, and you know, sitting around talking with Lindsay today about, you know, an outdoor pizza oven and a smokehouse like the Bearded Carpenter, and an outdoor shower, and cattle trough bathtub, and shoot, I want a pool now. Yeah, I do, especially on days like this. I'd rather be sitting in a pool. But yeah, all that is gonna have to come later. I gotta get moved here first, and I ain't got funds to create a Taj Mahal. So we'll just have to wait. But thank you for everything that has got me this far. That is much appreciated. All right, everybody, take it easy. Have a great weekend.